he was number 4 on the number of parties I copied. But to my astonishment, the letter was never responded to by the Auditor General. I took the trouble to follow up. Within the period I had given to get a response from her after it had expired, the Auditor General on phone assured me that the issues I had raised would be canvassed in the audit that had just started, was ongoing for this year, the year that His Excellency had been in power, that's the 2022-2023 budget cycle. So I patiently waited. And those of you who know, I pushed the issue of getting documents from my governor to a point whereby I had to open litigation which was also again interfered with by hired goons who pelted me when I was leaving court one day. We were forced to, the matter was transferred to Nairobi from Busia. So, but other than that, I had a legitimate expectation that the word the Auditor General gave me, that the current audit would canvass the issues I had raised, would be seen through. However, when I got copies of the audit report and copies of the responses from the governor, I realized that the issues had not been addressed. If anything, there was a deliberate attempt, or a deliberate but very poor attempt to cover them up. So, Honorable Chair, I asked the committee to look through the report, and I would be objecting to these proceedings going ahead unless and until CPA Nazi Kadhungu, the Auditor General, is held to account for what is happening in Busia. That is my submission, Honorable Chair.
You have, Honorable Senator, you have referred to correspondences and conversations which are not before the committee, which are not before the Senate.
I would like to...
I think it would be important that we are formally seized of those conversations.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I would like to table my 26-page letter, which I addressed to the Auditor General, which I copied to the Governor, and which I thought could inform the audits before us, but has not. It has been neglected and ignored.
Okay, Clerk of the Senate, you may receive that letter, and fine. So we'll take that as evidence of the conversations that the Senator is referring to. Now that we have taken that into account, Senator, would you mind telling us the date of that conversation so that...
Chair, perhaps the clerk should give you the document so that you satisfy yourself as to the averments by the...
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So, Senator Omtata, you are... So this is... I think we have received this. So may you just let us know the content of what you have placed before us?
Well, Honorable Chair, the letter, the reference of the letter is request to confirm whether or not...
I think it would also be fair for the Governor to get a copy of what has been placed before the Senate, because this
letter was copied to the Governor.
Yes.
Yeah. Let him receive
Okay,
it, so that even when we put the question as to whether it was copied to him, at least he's familiar with what we are discussing. Governor, you have a copy of that letter? Okay, fine. Proceed, Senator.
Yes, the reference of the subject is a request to the Auditor General to confirm whether or not public money has been applied.
Chair, maybe I wanted to ask whether the governor has received the letter before. Because he's saying I've just received.
Yeah, Governor, is it a quick perusal? Is it something that has come to your attention?
Now.
Previously?
I think previously I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Proceed, Senator.
Yeah, so the letter is requesting the Auditor General to confirm whether or not public money has been applied lawfully and effectively in recent suspicious procurement undertaken by the Busia County Executive from September 2022 to the date of the letter, which was 14th of November. Now, just to go through quickly that I wrote this letter within the mandate I enjoy under the Constitution and also under the determination of the Supreme Court in the case of Senate versus Council of Governors and 6 others, petitions 24 and 27 of 2019. So, among the issues I raised in that letter, I expressed frustration. I first of all informed the government that I've been engaged in auditing what was going on. And I had been encountering some challenges. I pointed out there were many inflated and ghost projects in the county. And then I'd also expressed frustration about the auditor's office. Despite the annual auditing of the county's financial records by office, the systemic issues persist unabated. So I went ahead and highlighted issues of understated revenues, ineligible expenditure, creation of ineligible pending bills. I also went to procurement like of Web Tribe Limited, which was not done in a proper manner. I also talked about fraud in the renovation of the governor's lounge and for other projects. I also addressed the issue of refrigerated truck registration number KCA 299X, Isuzu lorry stroke truck 2264,000 NKR 66 white, and construction of modern fish filleting room. So I also raised issues about what was called the Busia Town Beautification Program. I also raised issue about alleged fraudulent procurement leading to lack of medical supplies in county hospitals. Alleged loss of county funds used to hire a dredger from MATIANG'I. I also alleged diversion of funds, irregular and selective payment and unpayment of pending bills. I also alleged abuse of the imprest system. I alleged nepotism in employment, employment of unqualified staff, and of employment. And when I called the auditor, when I did not receive a response within the timeline I had given the Auditor General, I took a time to call her, and she assured me that the issues I had raised would not constitute a special audit, but would be canvassed in the ongoing audit, which is not the paper before us today. When I got these audit reports and I looked through, I found, for lack of a better word, a fraud scheme being rolled out before my eyes. There's what I know, and there's what was being massaged, being presented as an audit report. As far as I'm concerned, that audit report does not pass muster, and it would be a waste of public taxpayers' money for this committee to discuss it. And even when it is being discussed, we would want the Auditor General to sit in that seat. She's the one who signs this report, to sit in that seat, not her liaison officer, so that she can answer the questions we have, and I have for her. That is how grave the issues are. It's a letter that was given out, not acknowledged to date, other than the conversation after I followed up. But that's how the grave state of affairs is. And if we have to do justice to devolution, at least do justice to devolution in Busia. That's what I request the committee.
Thank you, Senator. This letter was addressed to the Office of the Auditor General. And I think the person who now needs to tell us whether